Good morning. I've just dropped my daughter off to do her start of her A-level exam. So wishing everybody who's doing their A-levels exams the best of luck throughout the country. And I'm just about to start my training routine. I do a bit of weights and a bit of running. And I was reflecting on a conversation I had with a business owner yesterday. I was talking about the emotional intelligence and conflict management and mental resilience training that it's just some of the training that HIT Leadership does. And I was a bit taken back by his response. His response was, "Isn't that a little bit woke?" when I talked about emotional intelligence and mental resilience. And I was a bit taken back, but I found myself explaining two scenarios to him to emphasize the point that while he may think that it's woke, it's actually extremely beneficial, not just for business, but for your personal life. That's the emotional intelligence side of things. So I explained I was a head of service delivery and I went to see a local authority customer of ours. We saw them once a month. We talked about the services, any service improvement activity, etc., etc. And unbeknownst to me, they'd brought a consultant in to challenge their suppliers. So what would normally be a 1 hour meeting within a set agenda turned into the consultant ripping up the agenda and putting his own agenda on the table. I was a bit taken back at the time, I remember. He was extremely aggressive and challenging about everything, really scrutinising, but almost like in a fiery courtroom type approach. And I remember responding and providing evidence and saying, well, yes, we do this, do. And I felt myself trying to justify everything. And about 35 minutes in, I stopped and I remembered about emotional intelligence because I found myself being very defensive. And I stopped and I realised I was fueling him because every time that I came back with an excuse, a reason, a justification, he would add more. He would be really probing, not just using the 5 whys, but actually really drilling down on everything, which if you're unprepared for can be a bit daunting. And I've just, after 35 minutes, I stopped and I just said, that's a great point. I'll take that away. And it's deflated his power, deflated his aggression. When you stop giving people the attention that they need, it deflates them. It's the same with online discussions. I was challenging someone who was clearly narcissistic online. And they were not listening to my argument, just completely overriding it with belittling remarks and chastising and going off talking about themselves all the while. And after 2 or 3 messages, I noticed that. I said, okay, I need to cut this off. And I stopped. I did 1 more message and then it'd gone. If you take away people's power to manipulate you, and by downgrading it, it's a fantastic element and it helps in personal life and in business. So I regaled this conversation, obviously in a bit more detail. But at the end of the day, emotional intelligence is so key in business. Whoever remains the calmest will always win. You get your stress levels really high, just and getting wound up by situations. That's where you can have problems. It can cause bodily or mental problems, but also you lose the respect of others around you. And if you remain calm, the people around you will remain calm. And that is the key. So I just thought I'd share with you that today. Emotional intelligence is a key skill to have, and it's definitely not woke. Anyway, have a lovely Friday. Take care and enjoy the weekend when it finally arrives.